Hello, this is wmpyr. Here is my new knife design. This is actually the name of the knife is the Texas Piranha, and this one is Mark II because this is like the second rendition. And yeah, I have this hobby where, from time to time I like to do knife designs. Of course, they are the tactical knife designs, based off of my martial arts experience. And anyway, what you're looking at right here, the blade, the blade edge part, I really messed up on. So you're gonna have to bear with me this part. The program I'm using is really for 3D printing, so they're probably you know it's really for plastic, but obviously this knife would be done in like some type of metal. I think a basic one is what, a US 8 440C, something like that. Would be good. I would think it'd be nice and affordable. I don't want it to be too expensive. Titanium sounds very, very appealing to me, but once again, that would jack up the price like crazy. So probably 440C or something like that, or even uh, some kind of tool steel. You know, like I said, nice and affordable would be good. Anyway, um, first of all, you could see that there are two big circles, one in the lower part of the handle and then the other kind of closer to the blade. That's really there just for lightening, skeletonizing the blade, because I think you can see and you could probably figure out that this is a fairly compact knife. And yeah, that's what I wanted. I wanted a compact. That's what I'm into. I'm into compact, like neck knives, that kind of stuff. So definitely wanted it to be compact. And part of that is kind of beats the purpose if it's compact in shape, but it's heavy. So I want it to be light. Now then you notice the next thing is you're going to notice it has a bunch of holes on there. And yeah, the bunch of holes on there is so that you could configure all kinds of lanyards, lanyard cord. You could wrap it on there in all kinds of different ways. I wanted it to be able to be like, if you wanted to put a ferro rod on there, you could, put it on there and then wrap it around with the parachute cord, and it'll stay there, whether it's a compass or whatever. I wanted it to where you could put on stuff like that and it's going to be secure. Because if it was like, if you see some of the other skeletonized knives, it's just big cutouts. And then if you don't put the cord on perfectly, or over time, just with you holding it and putting force onto it, it starts to wiggle and then it starts to become loose. So I didn't want that problem. By making specific holes in strategic areas, I figure it's going to be much, much tighter. And then, like I said, if you want to make a spear, a makeshift spear, or some kind of tomahawk out of this, that you're going to be able to do it. You're going to be able to tie this onto a branch, and you're not going to have to worry about it slipping too much because these are holes. It's not just a big giant cutout. So that was very important to me. The idea of the knife is that this is a pistol grip combined with a karambit. And also you can see that it is a tanto shape. So basically it is a hybrid of those three things. And that's another thing that was very, very important to me. It's interesting how like pistol grips, it feels like today, like with the K-Bar TDI knife, has gotten a lot of respect today. And then also I see plenty of YouTube videos on the Kernel blades that has become kind of scarce today. But that was definitely the talked about tactical knife at some point. It was like the number one tactical knife at some point. And what those two share in common is the pistol shape. And this is very interesting to me because back in the day, I remember being fascinated by TD. The TDI law enforcement knife has been around, like, it feels like forever. Since the time the karambit was popular, I felt like it was already there at that time. And I was interested in both the karambit and the TDI knife. But I remember learning about the benefits of the pistol grip shaped knife from Lacey Szabo's knife from Szabo Inc. Because I had a knife magazine, and in it, tactical knife magazine or whatever, whatever it was called back in the day, and in it he was showing his knife, the UUK, and that knife is pistol shape, and he was saying that is more ergonomics, that ergonomical, that it fits more with the human structure, the way your hand is grip wise. It works better as far as giving and receiving force. And to prove that, he had two of them, and he was doing push-ups. That was a photo on one of the pages. And I saw that and I was going, wow, this guy makes a lot of sense. And I really like that, he's thinking outside the box, and because it looks super unique. If you've never seen the UUK knife from Szabo Inc., Szabo, it is a monster of a knife. It looks awesome. So anyway, I was like, that's where I had learned about the pistol shaped knife. And then, just being a fan of tactical knives, I was always constantly looking at tactical knives, like just browsing and stuff. And one of the knives at the time I remember was the P001 knife. And when I saw that, the P001 bodyguard knife, when I saw this knife, I was like, this is like, out of all the pistol grip shaped knives, this is one of the ones that it makes no apologies for looking like a pistol. This is like one of the most extreme ones. It's heavy duty, and I was so impressed with it. I contacted the designer, Jeff Lanyard, and he owns a bodyguard company over in Europe, in France. He's a French guy from my understanding, and he designed it. He's also expert in judo, and he designed this knife for bodyguards, people who are they're used to firearms, and they go to a place where they can't have a firearm, then this is the weapon for them, kind of thing. So that was his thought process, and he designed it. And I had learned so much from that knife. And that was actually the first knife that was sent to me, and I was so impressed with it, and I learned a lot from it. I trained with it, and he was trying to explain to me. He didn't really speak English very well, but he was trying to explain to me all the different concepts behind it and everything. And like I said, it was a big educational thing for me, and I will never forget it. And I am very grateful and thankful to Mr. Jeff Lanyard for that, and the P001 bodyguard knife. And I was one of the first people on YouTube to to be telling people about the pistol grip shaped knife. That this is a great idea. This is a great concept, and this is way before Colonel Blades, and I was, of course, being hammered and ridiculed, and I'm sure being slaughtered on the forums. And I never went to the knife forums because I was like, man, these people are just so close-minded and it's just so hateful, So I was just like, I'm not going to worry about it. But it's just funny for me to see now people are seeing benefits once again in the pistol grip shaped knife. I mean, it's like, you don't have to be on the bandwagon to appreciate and know what is good, what is. I trusted my own eyes and my own knowledge, and I was like, this is an awesome, the pistol grip shape makes sense. And so once again here, I did that in this design, and right here you could see especially that what it says is the red lines match the human grip. Okay, so that lends itself to where the handle, especially the handle part of this knife, is based off of a handgun, a pistol. And that is because of the ergonomics. Now, I didn't want the knife to be completely 90 degrees where the blade was going to be completely going to be pointed outwards. You know, I still wanted this diagonal angle, so it's still, you know, it's in between, like a complete pistol, like 100% pistol and 100% knife. This is more like in between that, you know, and because I still wanted the slashing and stabbing capability without it turning into a complete pistol shape where, you know, maybe that's going to favor mostly stabbing. You know, I still wanted that room for the slashing. And from my own testing and training, when you have the knife angled like this, tilted more downwards, it really makes your slashing more powerful. You can really feel the difference in there. And I also wanted it for safety reasons, because when you have a standard knife, and I've seen some designs where the blade is either centered or it's almost like backwards, then your hand and your fingers are more likely to hit the target first. And that's why I wanted the blade out there, like way more forwards, you know. And when you do have a straight knife as such, when you're slashing, you kind of kill the length of the blade, and it's going to focus more on the top part, so that the belly needs to be raised. And that kind of makes sense for, you know, something like the Bowie knife. And then with something like the Bowie knife, you know, the curved belly is more on the top, obviously, and also not only is it going to work for that because it has the length. The Bowie knife is huge, you know, but when you make that a lot smaller, you're really killing off a lot of the blade edge part. When you actually test out the cutting and stuff, you're going to notice that. I like the Bowie design very much, and like I said, that curved belly does make sense to where that's where you're going to be doing most of the cutting, you know. But when you have a smaller knife, you want to use every part of that knife as much as you can. You know, you really, really do. And this, to me, kind of encourages this angle, the way it's angled, tilted downwards and forwards, that will let the blade edge come into play much, much faster. And so that was extremely important as well. And like I said, you could throw boxing style punches with this because it is a pistol grip. And then the other part, right, is the karambit part. And you can obviously the tanto part, and you know, once again, the edge part, I totally screwed up. Serrations to me is kind of a must. I know a lot of people are like, well, you know, it doesn't sharpen well. I'm thinking combat. I am not thinking about maintaining. I am not thinking about being in the woods for a week or something like that. I'm not thinking about any of those things. I'm not thinking about EDC. I'm only EDC as in self-defense, carry it all the time. Yes, you could cut box with this, you know, open packages, letters and stuff. Sure, that's all given. But you know, the real design is this is a tactical knife, you know, for self-defense purposes. So, you know, I really I need, when I cut, I need for it to cut something, and the serrations just increase that chance. Period. It just increases that. So the blade edge here, I know the top part, the tanto, it's all screwed up here. Maybe you guys can see right on the edge, the main edge part, where right on top of the serrations, this is like a chisel grind. And then from there, the tanto part is just a straight edge, and that part, you know, if you want to do fine cutting, you should be able to do it there. And that should also be a chisel as well. And the back part right here on the spine of the knife, that's the part where I'm not really sure what to do. And you see this messed up design here that that I ended up with. So the edge part, you're going to have to excuse me. I personally like a saw back, personally, you know, even for self-defense, because you could catch someone in the face. Now, if it was double-edged, that's even better. But then now we're talking about like legal issues. So lengthwise, this wouldn't be a problem. I'm thinking multiple sizes, but you know, it's a pistol shape. So this is not the biggest knife on the world, and that is definitely not the intention. You know, this is not a Desert Eagle or something like that. You know, this is not a 357 Magnum or a 44 Magnum. This is nothing like that. You know, this is more like a Derringer, right? Not quite that small, but you know, this is a smaller, compact knife. That is the appeal. Like, it's definitely a neck knife. Okay, and yeah, with the neck knife, always one of the biggest concerns is how comfortable is the grip. And then I thought, well, it needs to match the way the human hand works, and that's why these red lines come into play. The next part I want to show you guys over here is the karambit aspect, because some of you guys probably looking at it and going, I don't see the karambit aspect. So you can see right there the way the holes, the many holes, you could you know, do all kinds of configurations, but one of them right here is right there. You can see that loop, the red loop on the butt of the handle. You can see that that's where you would put your finger. And yes, I know with a karambit, usually the ring, sometimes you could punch with it and stuff. Well, that's why this right here, the bottom part of the handle, is this very sharp angle that's facing towards the opponent, where you could stab that into the guy, right? So even though the loop itself, the finger loop, will not have anything to, because it's just a cord, but if you put a bead, a hard like skull-shaped bead, or one of those tactical beads on the cord, well, you could use that for striking purposes too. So I don't think it's completely out, but from my understanding, the original karambit, the farm tool, used a loop, and I like the cord, this kind of loop idea better, because if I had to swing this around, I could do it with the cord, and it's much safer to me. Like I can do this no problem. Now, if it was a metal ring like most karambits are, then even though I can swing it around, if it gets caught in the wrong way, it hurts my finger. And I've tested this. I've tested it, and I can tell you that it is totally capable to fling and swing the karambit around on the extended grip and still make cuts. I mean, you could do beautiful cuts. You got to practice, but you could totally, it is 100% doable. All I'm saying is that if you mess up and it catches the karambit at the wrong angle, you put yourself in a finger lock. Now, I've discovered this. Now, I've gotten comfortable enough to where I could do it onto a target, no problem. But remember, in real life, the opponent's also moving. The target, if the target's not moving and I'm just hitting like a cardboard box or a tire, no problem. But if I hit something that's moving, then now that's going to increase the chances, the angles of the knife, you know, rebounding in a weird way. And then that way, that's going to hurt my finger. But with this kind of cord, it won't. So that's another benefit to the cord over the ring. But then, like I said, when you go from ring to cord, then you lose that striking capability. Well, I didn't want to lose it. So that's why you have the pointy handle right here. The bottom part is sharp and pointy right there. So trying to keep the best of both worlds. And then you can see the red line on the blade edge, right where the very last, or should I say the first serration, you know, that right there, I'm saying that is a karambit hidden inside the design, is what I'm trying to say with this knife. The karambit is hidden in the design. You can see each one of those serrations, actually, each one of those can be, you can make a red, you know, you can make the same curvature right here, and each one of those blades is a karambit in a way, if you think about it that way. So it needs to be able to hook. Now I'm thinking the finished product, the first, this right where this red curvature is, that first point serration right there would be exaggerated to give it more of a karambit type of capability. So it'd be like a snaggletooth sticking out. That's what I personally would want to do. But yeah, to have karambit capability and still the strength and benefit of a tanto blade, you know, and then on top of that, the angle of a pistol knife. So this is truly a Frankenstein. It is a hybrid. It is a hybrid knife. But anyway, just wanted to introduce my knife to you guys, and yeah, I'm sorry about the blade edge, but the handle pretty much came out, and the blade shape overall, like overall everything. This is the way that I want it. The only part that I'm not happy with right here is, like I said, the edge. Yeah, I'm not. It should be just chisel grind. You know, honestly, that's what it should be. But anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.